Hi everyone, it's Michelle Lightworker here and welcome to Enlightened Conversations. I have a very special guest today. Susie Beiler is joining me and I'm very privileged to have met Susie in one of our wonderful spiritual synchronistical ways through the beautiful virtual land of Facebook. God, I love Facebook. It is really my number one favourite thing in the whole social media scene because I have so much community on there and I feel like the law of attraction really works. Thanks, Susie, so much for joining us. And for those of you who don't know Susie, let me just tell you a bit about her. Susie is a certified holistic health practitioner with Spectrum Health Consulting, LLC, and Susie is a channel for the divine. She assists her clients to discover and live their soul mission so that they can enjoy a deeply fulfilling life. She quickly accesses her clients' core issues and offers practical steps for transformation. Gotta love that. Love practical. Awesome. Susie facilitates the release of emotional pain and teaches self-healing so that her clients can create their lives from a place of true freedom. She's a master of the healing arts, utilising the modalities that best fit her clients' needs, such as DidgeriDeep Sound Healing. Gosh, I love the name of that, DidgeriDeep. Wow, that really resonated with me. I'm like, oh, holistic nutrition, spiritual guidance, and lifestyle coaching and energy healing. And this is a really interesting part of Susie's story I'm really interested in. After healing yourself from chronic fatigue syndrome, which is also adrenal burnout, she reprogrammed and rewired herself to live her own soul mission as a channel for the divine. Susie is the founder and leader in the Creation Temple, an online venue for supporting lightworkers in their ascension process, and she lives in Sedona, Arizona. So I'm excited because I'm going there this year, and enjoys nature, authenticity, and high vibrational food. Welcome, Susie.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It's such an honor to be with you today.
Oh, it's so cool, isn't it? Because, the way I work, it's so intuitive and, sometimes I have people contact me and I guess straight away I just get oh, no, I don't feel that there's a right kind of fit. And then other people contact me like, yep. And I haven't even met them yet, of course, I'm just like, yep, that's what I'm being guided to do. And you're one of those people. So it's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
So you and I was just having a little chat before we started, which is often the case. We often have an enlightened conversation before we press the record button, I like to say, about how everything presents itself in perfect timing and whatever's running for us is important to talk about. Mm-hmm. And that you're a little bit snuffly around something going on, and you were kind of just sort of saying, I'm going to turn up anyway. I'm really proud of you for that, because I really love turning up and just sort of challenging, what is this about? And it's almost like, let me rise to this occasion and discover what the answer and gift is of the situation. Did you feel like that today?
Yeah, I'm really into empowerment, and I know this word is kind of a cliche word in our Lightworker circle maybe, but it's so huge. And the reason I wanted to show up today was because I knew there was supposed to be a powerful conversation between you and I and the people that are tuning in. And I know that I'm more powerful than whatever I'm experiencing physically. And so that is so important to me, that people understand how powerful they are, and people understand how important it is to show up for themselves, for their life, regardless of what's going on. And so I felt like this commitment that I made to have this conversation with you is more important than anything I'm experiencing physically. So that's why I'm here.
Wow, I love that. And I think it's really worth speaking to. I had drilling in the background just a minute ago, and I went, wow, that's really loud, like really loud. And I was thinking, well, how does this work then? Asking Spirit, what do you want me to do? Yeah. And it's all good. They're getting it over and done with before you start your recording. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I looked out the window, and it was one of our, we've got a pool out the back. We live in an apartment block, and we've got a pool out the back, and they're putting in a new shade cloth. and they're drilling into the side of the wall. And it was done. Like, I was literally looking out the wall after I got that message. And this was probably about, 5 minutes, seriously, not kidding, 5 minutes before we started.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool, it's done. So there you go. So amazing. Yeah, and I mean, another part of me could have gone, oh no, it's a disaster, I'm not going to be able to record, I'm going to do. It's like, no, just read about it, turn up, do it. And you got the same message. So it's an interesting thing, this whole turning up and doing it. There's a lot in that,
Yeah, I had a moment probably about 2 hours ago where I was like, I should really contact Michelle and just kind of let her know what's going on, and maybe she'd want to reschedule. And I don't know, there was something in me that was like, no, that's not acceptable. We're meant to have this conversation today, and what's going on for me is part of this conversation. So I said, okay, here I am.
Exactly. I love that. And I think that's really important for people to hear that. I seriously do, Susie, because I think a lot of the time people feel like it's almost like, how we talk about flow, and we talk about, the path of ease and the path of grace.
Yes.
In my experience, a lot of what I just talked about, which looked like a block, but the way I actually looked at it, or your sneezing and nasal stuff, whatever, looks like a block if you let it. So, it's like the path, sneeze away and blow away. We don't, every blow will be supporting you, cheering you on. It's like the path of ease and grace is what we make it a lot of the time. Yeah. And I think that people, it's almost like, oh no, it's not easy, I'm not doing it. Well, actually, guess what? Oh, there's a drilling. So they're doing a little bit more drilling, if you can hear that. So there you go. How we look at it. I can mute while you talk now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel a little inspired to share what's been going on with me, because it's a relevant conversation to what's happening with the collective and what more and more people will be experiencing. And if I can bring some conscious understanding to it, I think it will help people a lot. So my physical body actually right now is going through what I would call a healing crisis. It's not a health crisis. It's a healing crisis, which is like something that happens when you cleanse. It can happen when you are really releasing a lot from your physical body. Toxins, heavy metals, whatever it is, when people do cleanses for, right? I don't know exactly what I'm releasing. I just know that it's old and it may not even be from this lifetime, but it's coming out through my forehead. You can see like this massive inflamed thing happening, and it's coming out through my sinuses, and I was constipated for a couple of months, and this has been going on since the beginning of September. So this is a long process, and I've gone through these before, and maybe they were a week, maybe a month at the most, but this is like 5 months now. So I'm understanding it's a marathon, not a sprint, and I'm doing my best to go with it, to be in acceptance, to be extremely compassionate with myself, loving towards myself. But what's happening is what's coming into my being, I'm integrating a powerful soul aspect, a powerful part of myself that's been operating out there in other realms, and it's coming into my physical human experience now, and I'm integrating it at the physical human level. And it's so big and so powerful that as it comes into the physical body, it's, kind of blasting out the stuff that isn't in resonance, that lower vibrational stuff. And to be honest, it's not a comfortable process. It doesn't feel good. And yet, because I understand what's happening, there is a part of it that feels amazing, because I know this part of myself, and it hasn't been with me in the physical. And to have it come in to my human body, to have it come to planet Earth, is massive for me personally. And because of the service I do, I'm hoping it's helpful for everyone else as well. So I wanted to share that because this is part of the ascension process that we are on, integrating our soul aspects, integrating these parts of ourselves that are in other realms and other realities. And it's time to bring them here into the human experience. And it doesn't have to happen all at once. In fact, for most people, it is a journey. It happens, years and years over time as we grow and expand ourselves, as we get more consciousness and we learn about ourselves. It truly is a journey. I guess I want to offer encouragement. If you are experiencing health challenges or physical sensations that you don't understand, and if you've gone to a doctor and the doctor doesn't have any answers, it's possible that your physical body has to make adjustments for the tremendous amount of light that wants to come into your body. I don't know how much you know as you're listening to this, but there's a tremendous amount of love and light coming to our planet right now. And it's been steadily increasing over time. And it's just going to be more and more and more until we are integrated with it and into the dimension that we want to be. And that can present challenges for the human body. It can present challenges for our psyche, for our emotional body, for the mental body, if you don't know how to navigate, if you don't know what to do with it. And so one of the things you can do is practice extreme self-love and compassion for yourself, for the physical body. Get support, ask for help with what you're going through. So Michelle, I'll ask you if you have any questions about what I've shared so far, because it's kind of a lot. It's a big topic. So I want to see if you have anything to say about it.
I really want to invite people to entertain the possibility that when they have issue, that there is actually a healing going on rather than a health problem, because I think the way we look at our health evolving, the more we develop compassion and the more we realize that the body is really intelligent, like super duper intelligent. And the more we integrate these high vibrational frequencies, it's par for the course. And if we are integrating frequencies, quite strong high vibrational frequencies, sometimes we do need to have a level of compassion over a long stretch for our body to really reconfigure and change our DNA. And I certainly experienced this when I was writing the Everyday Lightworker Bible, Susie, because I was channeling 12 high vibrational frequencies and I was cross-sectioning them with every single chakra. So for me, it was, oh my God, can you imagine, like high vibrational frequencies 12 in every single chakra? And I wrote that book, and at the end of it underwent an incredible transformation on my physicality, because I was totally respecting it as well. It took me probably about, a year. I finished the book in September. I really felt like I came into my new body around sort of June-ish, but then it continued to follow through with that months and months after that. Every month I feel different in my body. Yeah. People say to me, you look so different. What are you doing? What's going on? I'm 46, they're saying I'm looking 30. What are you're looking younger. My daughters see photos of me when I'm in my 20s and I look younger than in my, like I'm not really, but my energy, my energy, everything about me. Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying, and I want to invite people to stop seeing the transitions that happen with their body as a negative experience, but rather, especially if they're on this journey, sweetheart, because it's almost like it delays the process, it judges it, it poo-poos it, it puts it down, and we have this opportunity to embrace it and go, I love my welts. I have had a friend who came out in welts all over her body as she was healing. No idea where it's coming from, but I love it. It's okay. I don't need to know. I can trust the whole process. I can be in this complete state of faith with this and really allow myself to just not overthink it and just embody the resonance. Continue to turn up, sweetheart. It's such a big message you're turning up today. And I'm just like so grateful that this message is getting out there, especially with your history too, where you've overcome the CFS, the chronic fatigue syndrome, or the adrenal exhaustion. You've come from a place that you could, like, I know it. I can see the belief system circling around wanting to hit, going, oh, what aren't you doing right? You did have CFS. What do you? It could start running, right? But you haven't allowed that to manifest. But it could, especially for those people on this journey who have had health issues and then they encounter another one as they go. So this is a big message, and I want to applaud you on it, sweetie. I really do.
Thank you. And I want to speak to that. The reason that I'm not in any chronic fatigue syndrome mode or anything like that is because when I first woke up, I had this knowing that I could rewire my nervous system, my brain, change my DNA. And that's exactly what I set out to do. And that's exactly what I've done. And so I just have no resonance with the idea of adrenal burnout or chronic fatigue syndrome. And because I was there, also, I know my body. I really got to know my body. And that's a very, I can never go back there because I won't let myself, because I know my body and what it needs. And I listen to it. Even if I don't know what it needs, I listen to it and I talk to it and I ask, what do you need from me right now? So yeah, it's the awakening that I experienced was miraculous. It was sudden. It was huge. And that was 12 years ago. And I've been consistent on my journey, consistently showing up, consistently doing the inner work, consistently looking at myself, being vulnerable. I looked in the mirror before I came on this conversation with you and I'm like, oh, I look like crap. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. That's not what's important. What's important is the light that flows through me. And if I can show up, then that light will flow through. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what I look like. The ego's like, oh.
I know, but you look beautiful to me. It's kind of interesting how we perceive ourselves on that physical level. And and then when we allow ourselves to elevate to that spiritual level, to have that spiritual side of ourselves. But that's so true, Susie. Like, sometimes on my crappiest days of what I look like, people just say, oh, you're looking amazing. What are you doing? I'm like, really? Really? I've just gone for a run. I'm sweating. I've got mascara running everywhere. My hair's all mess. And, oh, yeah, you're looking amazing. Okay, sure. but what they're looking at, I think, is the light that is streaming through my body and is touching them. And, I do need to speak to that, Susie, because as you were talking, I'm sort of a bit teary because as you were talking, I felt very, very, I felt so much gratitude for the fact that we've reached a spot in our lives where we can actually allow that love in and allow it to weave its work and allow it's such a gift to be able to do that. And I could actually, like, as you were talking, because I let it in, I was feeling the love that you're letting in, and it was just coming to me, and I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And I was having moments, so I just need to speak to that. It was so beautiful, and I hope that people watching are feeling it as well, that it's streaming through and hitting them and allowing them to soak it up, because Susie, it's just so, it's food. It's the real deal. It's the real food.
This is what happens when we do our inner work, right? We unlock these places in ourselves where we've kept stuff hidden or we've buried things or whatever. And when we bring that into the light, we make ourselves vulnerable and allow that to be seen, and we deal with what's in our shadow. The light can come into those places, and then we grow younger and we look more radiant, and there's more love that flows through. And so that's like, what's more powerful than that,
And joyful too, hey?
Yes.
I want to ask you about joy. I feel really called to ask you about joy.
Okay.
I know that you've been going through these physical transformations and things like that. But I'm curious as to how much joy you've been feeling from September through to now, amidst all that happening. How's that going for you?
Right now, it's wildly fluctuating. Like, there are days where I feel like I'm feeling virtually no joy. And there are days where it'll come in like a blip. And then there are days where it's like full on. Yeah. And so when I experience it, I just go with it, and I'm like, yay, thank you. And then when I'm not experiencing it, I'm doing my inner work, and allowing that. But you know what, underneath everything, Michelle, because I know what's happening on this journey, because I'm committed to this journey, there is a joy that's underneath even the deepest pain.
Yes. Yes. Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
whenever I'm going through a process nowadays, because I know the end result is levity and liberation and integration with those aspects of the shadow, I know that. Yeah. There is certainly, even when there's a little bit of a thing popping up that's out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, okay, time to look at it. Obviously, maybe it came through a dream, whatever. And there's this certain level of joy around it, because I just know it's a gold nugget about to drop out of the sky and gift me. And so I think as we go along on this journey, we understand how quicker that happens.
Yeah. Just this morning, I was just feeling like total crap, you know, sneezing attack after sneezing attack. And I'm just wondering to myself, like, oh my God, can I just feel better already? And for about 30 seconds, this beautiful hummingbird came and hovered by my window. And this happened once before, like when it was really cold in Sedona. And I was like, where is this bird even coming from? And it was like, I felt it so deep within my being, this messenger of joy coming to like say hello to me and remind me of the truth. And this is temporary, and this is just what I'm going through, and it's all okay. But look, there's this little hummingbird just flitting its wings at me, saying hello. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. And
that's incredible.
I love it. For me, it's those little things. I love those signs and those messages. And if I weren't present, I wouldn't have seen it, or I wouldn't have recognized it as something that had meaning. And I want to speak to that a little, because, you know, the way I'm handling this did not come easily. Like, I've had to build my muscles. I've had to practice being with this, allowing, surrendering. Again, this is 12 years of like concentrated practicing these kinds of things, concentrated work in this way. And so if you're, you know, more towards the beginning of your journey and you're confused about what's going on with you, I want to share that message of hope and joy and learning how to go through this, because you can learn how to navigate these experiences. And, you know, a lot of spiritual teachers talk about ease and grace and the easy flow. And, you know, I think it's like Abraham Hicks or something who talks about being in the flow and resistance and all these things. And you know what, that's all well and good. And I'm all about ease and grace. And if you're feeling like crap, you're not alone. Because guess what? This journey isn't always easy. It's not always beautiful. It doesn't always feel good, but it's real. It's real and it's true. And if you're going through a transformation, stick with it. Keep going. Because what's on the other side is amazing. I live an amazing, blessed life. And I've created it to be that way. And whatever discomfort I may feel, I know it's only temporary. And now this one's been stretched out for like 5 months. So it's trying my patience a little bit, but this is just me being real. Like, hey, I'm getting tired of it. But you know what? I'm sticking with it. I'm not giving up. I'm not calling it quits, because I know what's on the other side. And I've gotten glimpses of it. And the more integrated I become with this aspect, the more amazing I feel. So I don't know when the sniffly nose and the sneezing and the, you know, raging hot forehead goes away. I don't know, but I'm going to show up every day.
I'm so glad you said that, because I do have some drilling in the background, and it's really interesting that I believe that the message in the drilling is that we continue. I don't even know if you guys can hear it, because Zoom's pretty cool with following the voice, but I feel like the message in this is that we don't give up when it's not easy, or when it doesn't seem easy. We don't give up. We keep going anyway, because that exercises our faith muscle, and that often means more to people, you know, than the fact that you're amazing and you've made it and you're so centered all the time, that they can see the human journey. They can see that you're walking it, and that you're persisting, and that you believe in it. You believe in what you're doing that much. When it's hard, you keep going. You don't lose faith. I think that's extraordinarily important for people to see that.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of a private person. And recently I have a YouTube channel where I share my channeling videos, and the last episode I shared what's been going on with me. And
awesome.
Showing people my forehead and, things that I would have hopefully people wouldn't notice or whatever. But you know what? It's like, I can't handle hiding things anymore. I'm all about transparency and vulnerability. And I have very little tolerance anymore for keeping things hidden or not being real. And yeah, it's very interesting.
I love it. And I'm a big believer. I was thinking that this morning, Susie. I was thinking like how cool it is to be able to be so open about what's running and not be in fear that people are going to have some kind of an opinion of you, that you're not okay. Not to have that fear running, and just going, you know what? That's cool. If they don't feel I'm okay. Like I don't even go there. I'm just like, whatever,
Yeah. And part of that is, again, a muscle that I've developed on feeling safe within myself. A lot of times people don't want to share what's going on because they're afraid of being judged, because they're not feeling safe within themselves. Maybe they're judging themselves, or maybe they feel abandonment, or, whatever. But when you begin to feel safe within yourself, it really doesn't matter what other people think or their judgments or opinions of you. When you're so strong in knowing who you are and your mission and what you're doing, that's when you can really move forward in confidence. And I feel like, especially with this aspect that I'm integrating, that I know so strongly who I am and why I'm here on this planet. And it doesn't matter what people say or think about it. I'm just going to do it and live it every day.
Yeah. And you know what? The cool thing about that is when people get to that point, Spirit finds all these amazing creative ways for you to do it, so it becomes more and more joyful and more fun. And, your body, like this is I hope you don't mind, but I'm getting some messages around that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like your body is what preparing itself, like literally preparing itself to find joy. Like I feel that so strongly in my core of my being. The message just keeps flipping around again, around joy. And I'm like, okay. And the message that I'm getting that's coming through around that, and you referred to a past life, and I do feel it's connected to, there's something about a message in there about, not allowing oneself to be worthy of sustainable joy. And so I feel like, it's challenging you, like the health stuff is like challenging you to really, to go, and emotional. It's like, to sustain it. It's all okay. It's all joyful. You resonating with this, honey?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm releasing some patterns of service, like the service that I do on this planet and beyond. I'm releasing some of those patterns because it's taken such a toll on my physical body and on my health. And it's almost like I'm just going to say it. It's almost like I haven't allowed the sustainable joy. Like I'll receive so much, I'll feel so much, and then it's like, maybe I don't feel worthy or something to keep going with it. And then I have to go back in service and sabotage myself or something. I don't know, I'm just kind of talking as we go here, but thank you, Michelle, for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you felt some resonance with what I was saying, because I feel like it's such a big message. And I know for me that this was Susie, I've got to share this with you. This was one of my biggest fears actually stepping into my light working journey and sustaining the level of happiness and joy that I really felt was achievable and possible and almost natural, natural. I thought, I don't know if I can do that. That was one of my biggest fears, that I couldn't sustain it. Like, it wasn't sustainable. It was just something that someone conjured up in an imaginary thing. Because, as a human being, we have our fluctuations, and also in my family of origin, there's been bipolar stuff. So it was like, maybe I'm just, one end of the spectrum, and I'll just drop who knows, So I had fears around that. And seriously, I cannot remember the last time I was depressed now. I mean, I can actually, probably. It was 2001. So that's like 16 years at the time of this recording. That's a long time. I had postnatal depression, and I found my purpose, and then I stepped in, and then it was like this amazing joy built, and it just has kept getting bigger and bigger. And I just want to say that to you and to everybody actually that has that skepticism that I had around it being a sustainable energy. It totally is. It totally is, like, with all my being. And it's just the most amazing, liberating, awesome way to live. I just cannot describe how awesome it is. It's fantastic.
I'm just really receiving that, Michelle. I think the area where I want it most is in my physical body, in the human part of me, because I have joy in so many other ways, on so many other levels. And the physical body has been one of the most difficult challenges for me. Health issues since I was born, like weird stuff. And even though I've been healthy for the past 12 years, the way I've been doing service, there has been a lot of processing that I do through the physical body. And I'm kind of tired of that, and I want to change that. And so I'm declaring, I guess, to everyone now that I want to feel that joy at a very physical level. Yeah, I receive that.
I'm 100% supporting of that for you, my love, because I feel that it is everybody's birthright. And in fact, I would have to say this, that my old style thinking around healing would have been healing through pain. But my new style thinking of healing is healing through joy. Yeah. How much joy is that? And, if there's anything getting in the way of that, that's cool. Thank you for the blessing of, showing me that resistance, that level of resistance. But, I believe that I'm worthy of that feeling 100% of the time. I feel we all are. And as I said, I have found myself in situations where there has been a processing going on, but there is definitely what you talked about, which was that undercurrent of joy. And it's almost like it starts off as a thread and it becomes like a freaking size of earth. So it's like an undercurrent, but then it turns into the whole embodiment of earth underneath our feet. You know what I'm saying, right? So it expands from that thread of joy to this big, massive thing. And you can't describe it to people. Like, you can hold that space of joy for people and yourself at the same time, no matter how high the level of degree of trauma, pain, chaos, desperation, whatever it is going on out there in the planet. And I think that as light workers, I think we have a responsibility to step into that, to be honest. And I feel like you're ready because of all the work that you've been doing, and I feel like you've called it in. And so now it's, yeah. So I'm excited for you. I so am excited for you because I feel like this is it's a big moment.
Yes. Woo! You said, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I don't know what you mean, but I feel like very soon I will.
I know. I get it. I feel it.
You're giving me the energy signatures for right now, and I'm receiving that, and I am opening my DNA to receive that. I'm unlocking my DNA to the remembering of that because it's there. It's in my DNA.
Yeah.
So yeah, just in this moment, I'm going to just, how does it feel to unlock my DNA to the deepest joys? My physical body, my mental body, my emotional body. It's overwhelming. I love it. I receive. Talk about being vulnerable. Here we go.
Me too. I just keep weeping at this end while you keep writing. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I felt a huge big wave go through me before you said that you were accepting the signatures. It was the most amazing feeling. I was feeling it through my legs. You know, like usually a lot of energy comes out through my heart, but this was like, it was going down, right down through my legs. Like this huge wet velvety wave of something. And I feel like perhaps it's about that grounding again of the joy and that it feels that good and that you can have your feet planted on the ground so that you can stand it, you know, so that you can.
I literally have a container full of dirt inside my house, or I've been putting my feet into it. Okay. And today, for the first time today, I felt out of my right leg, I felt several times this heat come out of my right leg and go into the dirt.
Wow. Yay! Oh, that is such good confirmation. I love that. It's coming through. It's grounding itself. It's allowing itself to be really grounded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic.
So that's what that is. I hadn't really tuned in to see what it was about. I was just observing.
Yeah.
So you're feeling that the joy is coming in to my being and there's other stuff leaving.
Yeah, I feel like that it's literally like this wave. Like I literally felt a wave. And for me, that what it's translating across to was when you think about a wave in the ocean, it actually clears the way, it clears the path.
Yeah. And
it forges new, like you just have to look at the beaches. I don't know what they're like. Obviously in Arizona, probably not a lot. but where I live, we live on the beach and you just have to look at how the sand changes. The sand changes ridiculously according to what the ocean is doing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's allowing itself to move and to transform.
Yeah.
Your body.
We have that with the creek here. Yeah. Michelle, I have to tell you, and everyone who is with us, in this moment, I am feeling profound transformation. Like with that release of the tears, something shifted.
Yeah, I feel it too.
This is so cool. See, this is why I had to show up. There was a powerful voice inside me that said, no, you're meant to show up today for this. And I had no idea this was going to unfold and I'd be crying with our audience. And
yeah,
but I show up.
Exactly. And that's why I had to talk over the drilling, just saying to anybody who's afraid of, doing television from home, I understand your fears, but at the same time, if you're doing the kind of high vibrational stuff that we're doing, everything is part of that conversation, even the drilling.
Yes.
So, maybe it needed, like, just think of it, like a drill, come on, a jackhammer, it's like, let's move this shit. Let's get it through. Let's move it. Let's clear it. And that's for me so telling. How loud was that? Okay, I'm just saying, I'm doing this. I really want to move the camera out to the back so you can see it's not me. I haven't got someone doing this.
Right on you.
How cool is that though? On time.
Perfect. Perfect. You can't make this stuff up.
What have you got coming up for you, my dear? Tell me more about your temple.
Oh man, this creation temple. Talk about being aligned to the reason you're here on this planet. When this came in for me, this calling to create this online venue for people, it was like This is a physical way that you can express your purpose here on earth. And my soul mission is to create heaven on earth. Or another way to look at it is to restore earth to her original condition as heaven. So the creation temple allows people to look at their shadow so that they can free themselves of what no longer serves, so that they can be in the creation of what is in their highest alignments. And we focus on what we are creating. And so I have a group called the Master Creators that I meet with once a week. And I provide them with whatever's needed. We do lots of ceremonies, release ceremonies, creation ceremonies. Excuse me. We also do our inner work, looking at the shadow, looking at what are you afraid of? What don't you trust? What's holding you back? You know, that kind of coaching. And so it's this well-rounded, kind of all-encompassing balance of looking at the shadow and also focusing on the creations of light that you're creating. Because we need to do both, right? We can't always be looking at the shadow, but we can't always be, you know, in la la land looking at everything that's rosy through rose-colored glasses. Like, we're still in the polarity matrix, and so we need to deal with both sides. And so we do that in our weekly meetings. And then also within the website itself, I have 3 online courses, one for holistic nutrition, one for empaths, and I'm totally blanking on the third one at the moment. I have a lot of resources for people to grow and evolve themselves, some healing meditations, and the DidgeriDeep Sound Healing, which the reason you resonate with that is because you're from Australia, home of the didgeridoo. So I use my voice in the didgeridoo for that. I have a level of membership that's actually only $5 a month, and people who subscribe for that level are specifically people who resonate with heaven on earth and who love the channeled messages that I bring forth. And so I have a channeled message right now that just came through from Gaia, and some channeled messages from Prime Creator. And so people, you know, each month I put out some new content, and people can take advantage of those messages and getting assistance from higher frequency energies on their journey. And then I
was just going to say, why does that not surprise me that you just got a channeled message from Gaia? Like, like, oh my God, like, this is okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay. He was tugging on my heart for a bit of time, you know, like, will you speak some things for me? So it was, you know, I said, yes, of course. Yeah, so we just put that in the creation temple. And then there's a free level. So in the free level, what people get is access to all the channeled messages from Prime Creator. And I put those, when I do an episode, when I film the messages that come through, I put them in the creation temple first, and they're there for a week, and then I release them on YouTube. So people who really want to get the messages right away can be a free member of the creation temple and get the messages. And what I love about this site is that it is truly a sacred, safe container for people to experience their transformations and their growth. And I made a decision not to put those sacred messages on YouTube, the ones for the divine creators, because, you know, YouTube is, anyone can watch, anyone can make comments, and I really wanted to keep these messages sacred, because not everyone resonates with creating heaven on earth, and that's fine. But for those who do, I want to make sure they're getting like the depth and the juiciness and the messages, the purity of the messages. So it's really been an amazing form for people to transform and for people to grow on their ascension journey and experience expansion.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. And I can understand what you're saying there about being selective about what you share with who, what you share with who, because sometimes the energy of the message that's coming through is so ridiculously big and strong, and you want to, I guess, keep that energy as strong. I think that's probably why in some aspects, Enlightened Conversations was originally going to be live streamed only. I was just going to live stream it as I was doing it. And then I got this bubble effect that we got today, where there's this bubble around what we're doing. It's safe. It's a gorgeous zone to have those experiences. There's no one interfering and writing a comment and that kind of stuff. And it's always good to get feedback and things like that, but time and a place.
Yeah.
And spirit will choose the right time and the right place.
Yeah.
And so what I feel you're attracting is some really big messages with those people who are really ready for it. And that collective energy is coming together to bring that message down on earth, like through the body. It's working through their bodies, that's for sure, and then into action. And I feel like that's perhaps why you're being guided to do it that way as well. Would you feel a resonance with that?
Yeah, it's hard to find the right words maybe, but I've noticed, I've only done a few of these. I just added that level maybe at the beginning of the year, actually. And I've noticed that the messages that come through speak more directly to those who resonate with creating heaven on earth. And it just wouldn't, like, it's like the message somehow would get diluted to put it out there. I don't know if I can really explain it right, but it just feels like it needs to be kept safe. It needs to be kept sacred. It needs to be in a container. And to put it out there for anyone, it would take something away from it somehow. And yeah.
I understand, because not every single message that I get from spirit am I guided to share. Yeah. And what I will do is I will copy and I will paste it in my notes on my computer or whatever. And I will say, well, it's like a plane circling, ready to land. Yeah. It's not ready to land yet for the most, or the collective, right?
Yeah.
But I still feel what I'm getting, because I really want to speak to this, is that what you're getting is strengthening you at the same time. And also you're building a network of people that are actually resonating on that frequency. Mm-hmm. And that's sacred, and that needs to be protected in a higher contained energy of concentration. Yeah. Yeah. And so, yes, for the energy to build. That's how it needs to work.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That's what I'm getting. And then so I'm also getting that the way I'm working is kind of with Enlightened Conversations, I'm being guided to increase the hosting opportunities so that people can get these kind of conversations out there more. And so I'm not diluting it, I'm building the energy. So can people see, and can you see, that there are different ways to build energy? And you have to trust the process, because the temple idea that you've got running is extraordinarily, I can feel it, is extraordinarily working personally with people who are members to build this energy, right? Yeah. Whereas how I'm building this energy of enlightenment and this high vibrational frequency of the planet is I'm teaming up with people who want to hold this vibration as well out there. So it's, you see how spirit works so differently.
I got something else too when you were saying that. I do experience being attacked and things like that. So to have it, people aren't going to invest in themselves if they're not serious about it. They're not going to have a $5 a month fee on their credit card if they're not, really wanting something out. They're not just going to do it to check it out. They're doing it because they want to receive something from it. And so this is a way of protecting my work as well. This is a way to keep that sacred and not have to deal with the attack energy and all of that stuff, because that can get exhausting and old sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm amazed. I sometimes get a little comment here and there on Facebook, but not a lot nowadays. So that's kind of cool. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in why I don't. That's interesting. I'd like to explore that sometime. It's great. When I started this journey seriously, when I first started this journey, I was sharing with my husband about getting out there. Then I was, what if people start to attack what I'm doing? What do I say? He said, don't worry, the high vibrations will take care of that. And I'm like, you're right, they will.
Yeah. And it may be your joy, like that joy piece that you embody. It's like they can't get to you because it's too much joy there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's cool. Because actually, if I do get something like that coming through, I'm like, bless you, brother, or bless you, sister, in my head, in my heart, going, you're on your journey, your way, and I'm not like in that, I'm being attacked zone. And I think that dynamic of being able to unfriend people or block them if I really feel I need to, absolutely, just to let them go on their journey is really without angst and just, almost like a gratitude. Thank you so much for not diluting the energies. Goodbye, like, I wish you well. Thank you so much, because you've brought it to my attention that another piece of energy could be in the space that you're engaging with me. So yes. So I'm making room for that. Thank you so much. I bless you on your way. And I feel it is very automatic for me now. But at the beginning, it was a fear. I had that fear. That was one of my fears.
Okay. Can I ask you something though? So if you're saying thank you for the energy, and you're taking up space that a different energy could take up, isn't that like a slightly limited belief? Like there's room for all of it, right? So if we're releasing someone from the space, like why can't they be there and the other energies too?
I feel like I feel into it, and I wonder whether or not we're resonating and speaking the same like consciousness like right now. So it's not a judgment on them being wrong. It's more of who do I feel that I want to connect with and have in my energy field that I feel I relate to. Okay. And is actually like-minded, and we're vibrating on the same frequency, because that's what I'm all about. That's what I really want to create. So I'm not judging them and where they are, because I've been there too. I just think that what they need to do, in my opinion, is spend some more time in that energy frequency that they are resonating at. So that, because that's the thing that will get them to step forward, I believe. But some people, and myself included, need to get to a point where things aren't working anymore, or there's that kind of level of vibration is creating too much unhealth or dysfunction or whatever it is before they're ready to shift. I think if I kept people in my energy field that were not resonating with me, two things would occur. I wouldn't be being true to myself, because that really doesn't resonate with me. So why would I want to have that in my energy field? And then the second thing would be, I would be enabling them to delay their journey, not helping them at all.
Right.
So it's like that kind of, I was a partner of an alcoholic for many years, and it's almost like, well, I've got to keep trying to change that person by keeping them in my energy field. And it's like, no, I don't actually. I can get off their back, get out of their way, and get on with my life. And as I liberate myself from their energy that I don't resonate with, I've outgrown it, then that gives them permission to then do the same thing. So that's how I kind of sit with that.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah. When I get those comments on YouTube, I say, thank you for engaging with my energy. Like, wow, you don't like this, but you've actually taken the time to write a comment. You know what that means? That means you're engaging with my energy. Thank you. I think my partner Max and I, we kind of laugh about it sometimes. It's like, like these people can't stand it, but they're taking the time to write a comment. Like, so that they don't realize what they're doing. It's almost humorous in some ways. But anyway.
The other thing too, I've had a lot of people that I would say were very passionate about the 12 principles as students of mine at one stage, but then they've come up against their shadow, or they've come up against something that doesn't, that they're not ready to step into, and then they've unfriended me on Facebook. And I've noticed that. And I've said to myself, I believe 100% in humanity. I am pro-humanity. But I don't believe that every single person has to walk the path I've walked my way to be A, enough, and B, enlightened. They might have to do it a different way. And so there's that level of humility to say, even if they did initially resonate, and they may still resonate, but they don't want to do it the way that I walk it, that is a 100% freaking okay, because it's their journey, it's their life, it's their way. And I'm okay with that, you know. But I would, if they want to friend me again, I would like to have a conversation about what went down for them, because that would be interesting, you know, because
totally.
I'm interested, I'm curious, and I'm open-minded, and I believe in the principle of forgiveness. They're two of my principles, by the way, apart from joy. Joy's another one, but anyway, you'll find more about me. But yeah, I just think, yeah, there's all that's interesting process. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds in the future, because I've been doing a lot of reflecting on that lately and going, I noticed that there were a few people in the early days of things that I hadn't quite perhaps found my groove, maybe the way I wanted to, whatever. And I'm interested to see what the process was for them. Anyway, I'm sure that will happen too. And I'm open to that. I'm open to hearing from people that have dropped out of my energy field, come back, swing back in if they feel they resonate. Yeah. So I'm a human being too. I'm walking this journey as well. I'm sure I've fucked up and done stuff that was outside of the value system. I didn't even realize it, you know, because we do that. So that's okay, because I have 100% forgiveness with me, and I know what my intentions are to help the planet evolve. Yep. And I think that's really important, to believe in yourself that much, that you go, yep, I might have lost friends along the way and maybe they'll come back. So, you know, that's an important one as well. It's really been on my radar lately, Susie. I really feel like I needed to speak to that. But I know our hour's almost up, so I'm kind of wanting to make sure people can find you. So how can people find you? What's your best, the Creation Temple website, and social media? Okay.
creationtemple.com. And my other website is susiebeiler.com, SUSIEBEILER.com. And that website, the susiebeiler.com website, that's where you can book a personal session if you want to find out your soul mission and understand what that means and how to apply it to your everyday life. We can do a channeling and coaching session. The Creation Temple website is to access all the content, the channeling videos, the online nutrition course, you know, all of the content that I have there. And if you want to be a master creator and meet with me every week and get the support that you deserve for your ascension journey, that's the creationtemple.com website. That's where you would go to join up with that.
Awesome. Well, I've loved, and oh my goodness, it's been an amazing experience. We've got everywhere, haven't we? It's been awesome.
So fast, Michelle.
I know, like that. It's awesome. But I've just had an absolute ball. Thank you so much, Susie, for joining me. I've really.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm just so glad that I can be vulnerable and willing to receive, because if I had, like, you know, hidden what was going on for me and just tried to be like the teacher and whatever, this wouldn't have happened. So I'm just so grateful that we created this space together today. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lots of happy dancing to come.
Yes.